Ladies and YouTube subscribers, Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet and guy who just hit 2,000 subs on his YouTube. Fuck yeah. This is the Kill You're in a Loser show. Let's fucking go. So, just hit 2,000 subs on my YouTube channel. I honestly, when I set the YouTube up, I didn't really expect many people to follow it or to watch it or any of that shit. So, I'm pretty fucking happy that we're already at 2,000 subs. You know, we're going to crush the next goal, maybe 10,000, maybe 50,000. We'll see how we go. But I'm really fucking proud of every single one of you who takes action, who watches the videos and goes out there, drops a comment and says, hey, I went and did this. I went and lost a bunch of weight. I went and got laid. I talked to my first girl outside. I did this. I did that. I'm really fucking proud of you guys. I genuinely feel really, really blessed to know all of you. I know I don't know you on a personal level, but I feel fucking blessed that we built this beautiful fucking tribe of guys that crush it, of guys that go out there and get shit done. Keep pushing. I want to see what you guys do over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. I want to see you guys do something fucking amazing. What we're going to do for this 2,000 sub special is I've got my little llama here. Those of you who don't know, this is my fucking gay llama. And he's been sort of a meme on the channel back in the OG days. But what I've done is I've posted on my forums. And for those of you who aren't familiar with my forums, you are absolutely missing out. Go to my forums. Just go to killyourinaloser.com/forums. Everyone on there is an absolute legend. They're all a bunch of like action-taking, hard-working legends. And I made a post saying, you know, almost at 2,000 subs. We've hit 2,000 now. So I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything. And I'm going to leave out most people's profile picture. I've cropped it off so you guys can't see it, just in case some of these guys want a bit of anonymity, but I'll still read out their usernames and shit. And I'm basically going to go through and answer all these questions. We'll have a little bit of fun with this. This will be sort of a chill episode. I'm going to skip this first guy's question. I'll come to that in a second. But let's fucking go. Let's just start answering these questions. Let's have fun with this shit. Fuck yeah. So Cam the Man says, do you believe that men with multiple female partners will become more normalized in the future of dating, since most women are fighting for the top % of men? I don't think it's because most women are fighting for the top % of men. That's like a thing that the red pill likes to just always say. I don't actually think it's true. It's true in the fact that women will fuck the top % of men, but they don't settle down with that top % of men. Like, They will, but there's only a certain top percentage of men. Those get taken. And then when a woman's like, 27, 28, 30, 35, whatever, she's going to settle down with whatever's left, right? If she can't get the top % of men, she'll get the next guy. She's not going to be single for the rest of her fucking life and not have kids and not have marriage and not do all that shit. So, like, you're not going to have weird harems or something like that. However, in the sexual marketplace, like in terms of just getting laid, yeah, like that's what happens. Like that's already happening. It's not that, like, sure, maybe it'll happen more. It's already normalized. Like, you're basically asking a question of something that's already happened. Like, it's pretty fucking normal that you have casual sex on Tinder and just fuck whoever the hell you want. That's what Western society and a lot of European society is already. So yeah, maybe it'll become more normalized, sure, fine. But if you're asking about settling down, no. Like, women are just going to settle down with whoever they can get. But yeah, will it become more normalized? Yeah, I guess so. It already is pretty normal. His second question is, how do I think the metaverse will change dating in the future? I mean, it's just going to be an intermediate step, I think. Like, there will be people that date in the metaverse. I'm going to move this fucking llama. He's in the way. I think you'll have people that will date in the metaverse, but you already kind of have that. Like, you already have people. If you go and look up articles, there are people that meet in fucking World of Warcraft and like fucking Nintendo Switch games like Animal Crossing and shit. There are people that date in there and then end up getting together. There are already people that meet on Reddit and shit and just have an online relationship and then eventually meet in person. So I think the metaverse will just be like one more of those things. Honestly, like, most people live their lives pretty online anyway, like a mix of half online, half in real life. So yeah, there'll be people that date in the metaverse. They will be more like the fringe people, though. Like, nobody sits here and goes like, oh, everybody meets online and just only hangs out online. We all know that's kind of like not really fully real life. Like, we all get that. Metaverse will just be one more step there. I can see the metaverse being used in the same way that we right now might use FaceTime before you go and have a date. Like, a lot of guys will jump on FaceTime. They'll FaceTime the chick and, you know, video call her for a bit and say, hey, you know, let's have a mini date now for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we'll go meet for the actual date. So I think the metaverse will just be that. I wouldn't be stressing about, like, I wouldn't even be answering the question. These questions like this are not really relevant to any of you guys. Like, it's relevant in terms of like an interesting thing, but I personally I don't find it that, I find the metaverse interesting, but it's not really going to affect my life, is it? It will be this cool, interesting thing. It's like, you're still going to be going outside and getting laid. All of you guys watching this, all of you guys on my forums, you're going to be out there getting laid and shit. So like, I wouldn't even be worrying about the metaverse. The metaverse will just be like a cool hobby thing. It's like, think about like Bitcoin or something. Bitcoin is, or NFTs, Bitcoin, all that shit's fucking interesting. It's fucking cool as hell. But for you guys personally, like, NFTs aren't exactly changing your life right now at this point in time, are they? Maybe they will in the future, but yeah, I don't really have a full answer for that. Or I don't think it's worth sitting there thinking about how is the metaverse going to change the dating landscape. It's not going to change it for you. If anything, it'll make it easier for you, honestly. Like, Tinder and shit has made it so much easier for guys like us to get laid. Obviously, because you can get laid on Tinder. Obviously, if you have even remotely decent pictures or sexual pictures, like I have BDSM pictures on my profile, if you have any of that shit, or if you're just good looking, if you just have decent, interesting pictures, it's way easier to get laid. Like, way, way, way easier. And then Tinder has made, you know, and other dating apps have made going outside and talking to women, or talking to women in bars, or any of that shit, it's made it easy mode for us. Because you go and hit on a chick during the day and she's like, what the fuck? You mean you're not on Tinder and you're not going to be autistic? You're a normal human being who can talk to me in real life? Holy shit, that never happens. Sure, here's my phone number. So if anything, the metaverse is going to make it easier for us. If some of you want to fuck around and experiment and use it almost like as an intermediate step, like you would with FaceTiming a chick, like, go ahead. But don't add in that step just because you think you have to. Like, that would just be you wasting time, like delaying going on a date with her. So yeah, I can see a bunch of guys using the metaverse and convincing themselves, not you guys, but like normie dudes, convincing themselves that like, oh, metaverse date is like a half date. The same way that some people have done that shit with like Zoom. I know for the last 2 years, fucking Tinder and Hinge and all the other apps were pushing this idea of Zoom dates, and a bunch of fucking retards fell for that shit. Maybe I shouldn't say retards, fine. A bunch of people fell for that shit and go, oh yeah, Zoom date. Yeah, I'm Zoom dating. Whereas for guys like us, it's like, what's a Zoom date? Like, fuck that. I'm going to go meet her in person. If she doesn't want to meet me in person, I'll meet someone else. So yeah, I can see it being an extra intermediate step for a bunch of normie people. But for us, I don't think it's going to make any difference whatsoever. Because you don't want to fuck someone in the metaverse anyway. Just go to a chat room or something. Just go watch porn. Hey, Andy, 2 questions. So this one is from, mate, I can't even fucking pronounce this guy's name. Avi Hi. There we go. We'll say Avi Hi. Hi, Andy, 2 questions. Is there a looks threshold before saying, hi, you're sexy? No, but there's like what's a nice way of saying this? There's a shut the fuck up and do it threshold. Like, this is one of those things you're going to have to just shut the fuck up and do it. Literally everybody asked me this question, by the way. Like, am I allowed to tell girls that they're sexy? Like, do I have to get more attractive first? Do I have to add more muscle? Do I have to get laid more? It's like, just, you're never going to feel ready to say you're sexy to a girl, or even you're hot. Hell, even a lot of guys struggle with saying you're cute. I did. I fucking really struggled with that shit. And so this is one of those things you're going to just have to do it. Like, so he goes on to say, I've been pushing myself to do it lately. Good fucking job, dude. So I could practice being more bold, and it's getting mixed results. Doesn't matter about mixed results. Also, this is the other thing that guys do. They'll do like 10 approaches or 20 approaches, and they'll go like, man, I'm getting mixed results. It's like, no, mixed results is you did it with 300 girls. You walked up to 300 girls and hit on them, and you got mixed results. And even then, if you hit on 300 girls, you will get laid no matter what. Like, unless you're morbidly obese or you're doing something insanely wrong, like really fucking wrong. So don't be looking at the results. The results don't matter right now. Literally. This is the mistake that too many guys make, where they start analyzing the fucking results after they've done, like I said, 20 or 30 or 50 approaches, and they're going, oh my God, I'm not getting the results. It's like, you need to be doing hundreds of approaches before you even consider the results. Your mission is to do. Your mission is not to analyze. Your mission is to shut up, talk to 300 to 500 girls, or on Tinder, be on Tinder for like, 3 to 6 months. And then at that point, you can start worrying about the results. Obviously, be improving yourself as you're going along. The more attractive you are, the better results you'll get. But there is confidence in there as well, which is why we say hit on 300 to 500 women. You will naturally get more confident. You'll feel better at saying, hi, you're sexy. But if you want some actual, and see, here you go. I'll make my point in a second, but if I keep reading your shit, you're saying, I'm getting positive reactions, which I'm glad. Okay, so why are you even asking the question? You're asking the question because your next sentence is, but one girl said, don't call me that, you don't know me. Yeah, and the answer is like unmatched. Like, this is what I mean when I say over-analyzing results. So by your own admission, I'm getting positive reactions, but one girl didn't like it. Yeah, that's what this is. If I'm in sales or something and I say to 20 people, hey, do you want to buy my product? 15 of them might say no. 3 might say, go fuck yourself. Fuck you, cunt. How dare you talk to me? You're wasting my fucking time. I'll fucking kill you. No one's going to say that, but they might. 1 will say like, fuck you, you piece of shit. I hope no one buys your product. And then 1 person will say, fuck yeah, I want to buy your product. Here's the money. And I'm not going to sit there and go, and by the way, that's a hypothetical. No, people don't talk to you like that. No one's going to tell you to go fuck yourself. But in that hypothetical, I sold one thing. It doesn't matter that 19 people were either ambivalent, not interested, rude. Like, none of that really matters. And this isn't even rude. She's just like, don't call me sexy. You don't know me. So then your answer is like, okay, unmatched. Like, she just doesn't like to be called sexy. That's going to happen. If you tell girls that they're cute, you will get some saying, don't call me cute, you don't know me. If you go up to women and just say, hi, how's your day going? No, like the most soft, unpolarizing way to start a conversation, 1 in 50 girls will say, don't fucking talk to me, you don't know me. So this is why I say, go talk to 100 women, 300 women, 500 women, go on Tinder for months, really play the numbers game here, because right now, you're getting bogged down in shit that doesn't matter. Like, I got 1 girl telling me that don't call her sexy. What does that matter? Like, what do you give a shit that 1 doesn't want you? You go on to say you unmatched her. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Exactly. Yes. It's not that she wanted to have a moral argument. No, she's just in a bad mood. So, yeah. Whoops, what did I just do? Don't click that button. Yeah, so the answer here is like talking to more. So I guess I'm wondering if I should stick to you're very cute until I get my looks and photos upgraded. Well, and then what? And then what? And so this is a really great question, dude. Really great question. Good job for asking this. By the way, everyone asks this question. So you're saying, should I wait till I'm hotter or have better pictures or more muscle or leaner or more confident or older or taller or my teeth are whitened or I get a better haircut or I dress better? Like, should I wait until, and then should I say, hey, you're sexy? No, why would you wait? Because here's what's going to happen. Here's what everybody always does. You will improve your looks. You will upgrade your photos. You'll still feel very hesitant to say, hi, you're sexy, because that's something you haven't done very much, so it's a little scary. That's fine. It was fucking terrifying for me when I first started this shit. By the way, how fucking terrified do you think I was when I started saying to girls, do you want to try BDSM? I was shitting my fucking pants. I was having panic attacks just sending that message. I would send the message, then I'd have to turn my phone off because I couldn't look at what she might have replied. I thought she was going to call me a rapist or any of that shit. So I understand these fears. You have to push through them. Everybody has to push through them. I had to push through them. But if you wait until you're more attractive and your photos are better, you'll still feel that fear. And then you will go through this exact same fucking process where you will do it a bunch of girls will give you a good reaction. 1 will say, don't call me sexy, you don't know me. And you'll go, oh fuck, maybe my looks aren't good enough. Maybe I need to take even better pictures. And you'll stop doing it, and then you'll go improve yourself for another 6 months. Then you'll come back and you'll just keep doing this. You'll keep moving the goalpost, because what you're really afraid of here is a rejection. I'm sorry, dude, you're going to get rejected. And guys have this false notion of what self-improvement is, and false notion of what confidence is, or game, or improving your looks, or looks maxing. Guys think that if I just get my shit together and I'm fully maxed out, which you'll never be fully maxed out, I'll tell you that now. Guys think if they have their shit together and they look amazing and their confidence is through the roof and they have sick game and all that shit, that suddenly girls won't reject them. No. You will get rejected for the rest of your life. Do you know how many fucking times I get rejected every single week? Like 20 times, 50 times. I don't even know. Like, what does it matter? The rejections will never stop, and they don't fucking matter. I've done content on this. You're not even getting rejected. She just isn't interested in what you're selling or what you're offering. You're saying, hey, I find you attractive. Do you want to grab a drink together and probably have sex together? Some girls aren't interested in that. And so they're saying no to that. They're not rejecting you. It's not because you're ugly. It's not because of this, although improving your looks will obviously help. But yeah, you're basically here trying to avoid rejection. And I'm sorry, there's no way you can avoid rejection. So the answer to your entire question is, I'm sorry, dude. You're going to have to push through this. Now, you don't have to call girls sexy if you don't want to. I'm not your dad. It's not up to me to tell you what to do or what to say. You're a man. If you're going to embrace fear and say, I'm too scared to say that they're sexy, so I'm just going to go back to saying I'm cute. Fine, it's your life. I literally don't care what you do. I want you to be happy. I'll make it very clear on that. But like, it doesn't bother me if you say you're cute. You're only affecting yourself. So you're the one that you have to look in the mirror at the end of every night and say, did I choose fear today, or did I decide to man up and do something a little more difficult? Only you can answer that question. Only you can say what you're happy with. But yes, if you wait until your looks are better, you'll just keep waiting forever. You will keep moving the goalposts. You'll become good-looking loser. That is literally how he started his website. He was the most ridiculously over-the-top, attractive as fuck man of all time. 250 pounds or whatever it was of just fucking pure muscle. 6'4" tall, or 6'3" or whatever he is, slightly taller than me, or I think he might be my height. Really fucking attractive. And he wasn't talking to women because he kept saying, oh, my left bicep isn't as big as my right bicep. Remember, like 250 pounds of like lean fucking muscle. And he was going like, I'm not perfect, because he was scared to talk to women. And he just kept saying, when I get to a point where I'm super attractive or even more attractive, then I'll be able to talk to women and then they'll never reject me. And it's like, no, they're going to reject you forever. You will always get rejected. Again, they're not even rejecting you. They just don't want to fuck you. They just don't want your offer. So yeah. Second question, how do I keep a consistent vibe with girls? I feel like I naturally chameleon myself based on the person I'm with. So based on the person, and I'm having trouble maintaining the vibe I would like to. So that's natural to some extent. You're always going to chameleon yourself. That's incredibly natural. Guys analyze this too. I've had so many people go like, when I'm with a girl, I change as a person and I'm completely different to when I'm with my bros. And then I'm different to when I'm with my family. And it's like, yeah, that's called being a human being. You're not going to be the way you are with your bros, with your fucking mother, are you? That would be weird. Like your mum's there and you're like, hey bro, what up, faggot? Like, no. Like you're not going to say that to your mother, are you? Hope you don't call your friends faggots, by the way. I do. But you guys probably shouldn't do that. So I naturally chameleon myself. With some girls, I have a very easy time being direct, masculine, and fun. Other times I feel like if a girl is a bit more masculine, I change myself a bit. It feels weak when I do so. It only feels weak because you're putting that on yourself. You're shaming yourself. So you should probably read a book called Letting Go by David Hawkins. I highly recommend that book. I would especially read the chapter on shame and guilt for you, because that's what you're doing here. And fair enough if you're saying you want to be a little more stoic and a little less reactive and a little less of a chameleon. Like, yeah, reasonable. That's a good thing to work on. But you're saying it feels weak when I do so. You piling that guilt on top is just making it significantly worse. Go and read the book. I'm not going to give you a big lecture on letting go of shame and guilt and shit like that, but please go and read that book, especially the chapter on shame and guilt. You'll see that if you let go and stop beating yourself up and saying, oh, I'm weak all the time. Why am I weak around girls? If you let go of that, you make it easier to actually fix it. If you call yourself weak, you make it harder to change, because a weak person is not very good at changing things, are they? So you don't want to call yourself weak. You want to say, yeah, I'm fucking getting better. I'm improving. I'm masculine as fuck, just not all the time. So that's something I'm working on. That's how you want to phrase it, rather than like, oh, I'm weak when I'm with girl. I feel so weak. No. Stop identifying with the weakness, literally. So I'm wondering if you've ever gone through this. Yeah, everybody does. Especially at the start, you're going to be more reactive, less stoic, less consistent, less yourself. You haven't figured out your identity. How old is this guy? 24. Yeah, bro, you're fucking 24, man. And you've probably just started this self-improvement shit. You've made 200 posts on the forums. Exactly, bro. Like, when did you fucking sign up? I'm going to hide this so no one can see your fucking profile. Let me have a look. When did you sign up? Bro, you only joined like halfway through. Yeah, you only joined like 8 months ago, dude. And the reason that I'm bringing that up is because to some extent you haven't figured out how to be like stoic and consistent and all that shit. So cut yourself a little bit of slack. Yes, this is something that everybody goes through, especially when they've only been trying to fucking get laid for 8 months or a year or however long you've been here. It will get better the more you practice stoicism. So you can read books like, actually, I'll tell you what I do. I'll show you on YouTube right now. So type up Epictetus. I fucking hate his name. Epictetus. And then this one here, The Discourse of Epictetus, Book 1. Go and read that. There's like 10 books, but just start with that one. And then just read like Marcus Aurelius or listen to Marcus Aurelius Meditations. All this shit is free, by the way, on YouTube. So yeah, the top audiobook, just listen to that as well. So both of those will teach you stoicism, which stoicism is basically just being consistent in yourself and not being as much of a chameleon. But yes, it is completely normal to be a fucking chameleon. I understand you saying you want to be less of a chameleon. I get that. That's definitely something to work on and something important. Yes. You're only 24. You've only started this getting laid shit. So that will happen more over time. Basically, you got to prove to yourself that like you're worth a damn. And if you're sitting here saying like, I feel weak, that's you. That tells me your self-esteem isn't where we want it to be yet. And that's fine. Like almost nobody's is, well, I'm going to say nobody's self-esteem is nobody's self-esteem is that high at the start. No matter how much you posture and pretend to be. Yeah. You get rocked by external events. You get rocked by rejection. You feel like you're Mr. Chameleon at the start. So I promise you it will improve over time as long as you're taking action. But read those two books like I gave you, the Marcus Aurelius one and the Epictetus, the book 1 and book 2 and book 3 and book 4. Go through all those. That shit will definitely help. The Letting Go book that I just gave you, I'll show it on screen. So this is the book I'm talking about. Letting Go by David Hawkins. It's on Amazon. It's on audiobook. So this book here, Letting Go. You guys probably can't see that on screen, can you? How am I going to do that? Whatever. I don't give a shit. I can't be bothered with OBS today. So Letting Go by David Hawkins and those Epictetus. Yeah, go through those. Yeah, you go on to say, I had my first same day lay within an hour, so thank you for that. Good fucking job, dude. That's awesome. You giving permission as well as being encouraging to just go for stuff before I feel ready honestly opened me up to just trying and getting things I didn't realize I was already good enough to get. Yes, okay. So look, mate, you fucking get it. You literally get it. Look, I didn't realize I was already good enough to get. That is the answer to you saying like, should I say that, you're sexy yet, even if I don't feel like it? You just answered your own question. You feel like you're not ready to get it. You feel like you're not ready to say it. Fucking doesn't matter. Say it. It's also the answer to your like chameleon shit. You know what I mean? Like you're good enough to be a chameleon, but you're calling yourself weak. You're kind of beating yourself up there. So that's the answer to that question. Good question. I think this guy asked more questions later on. I'm not sure, but we'll scroll through. Yeah, this guy here answered that previous guy's question. And he basically says, sorry, I got a fucking text message. I was distracted. He says, the idea of saying, hey, you're sexy is to weed out girls that are prudes or who aren't comfortable with sex or who aren't interested in you or whatever. So that girl that said, like, don't call me sexy, you don't know me. Like, yeah, that's what the fucking line is for, dude. Like, and that's the other thing. People get really bogged down and stressed out about rejections. It's like, rejection is a good thing. Think about it. Be grateful for a rejection. She saved you time. She's literally saying that she doesn't want to sleep with you or she doesn't want to sleep with you in the way that you want to sleep with her. Isn't that good? She's literally saying, I don't think we'd be a good match. I think it's best if we don't waste each other's time. Like, that's a beautiful fucking thing. And then this guy goes on to say, don't argue with girls, just unmatch them. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be arguing with people. Like, what are you arguing for? If someone says, I'm not interested in what you're offering, why would you argue? All you're doing is lowering your own self-worth at that point. So this is the guy. Don't worry about that. We'll come back to that. Look at me clicking all over the place here. Okay, so this guy here, SpongeBob. His profile picture does not look like SpongeBob. You guys can't see his profile picture. Very handsome little dapper gentleman right there. Opposite of SpongeBob, bro. So he goes, I'll answer the bottom one first because that's the easiest one. So my goal is elite body. How am I doing with that goal? Pretty good. So I'm on a cut right now. I've just started cutting. I gained a bunch of strength, and I would assume muscle because I also gained a bunch of weight. Got a little chubby. I showed on the little chubby. Look at this. You probably can't see, but I'm a little chubby. I'm much leaner in other videos, but yeah, I'm on a cut right now for about 10 weeks. So I should look way better than I ever have at the end of that cut. I should have more muscle than I ever have because I've been working with a bodybuilding coach. He's kicking my ass. That's really, really good. I'm eating. Every time I bulked in the past, I did it like retard style. I would just eat McDonald's and KFC and Burger King and just dog shit food. And then I would get really fat. And then I would cut way too intensely. So I would just eat like 800 calories, literally 800 to 1,500 calories. And I would just lose all energy. I didn't want to go to the gym. I obviously lost a ton of muscle. And then I would repeat that cycle again. I would dirty bulk and gain a bunch of fat and then cut too hard. And so when I spun my wheels, I made some progress, but I think I've wasted like 4 years of weightlifting. If you ever want to see an example of something that I'm hopeless with, I know some of you guys talk about feeling hopeless. I've always been hopeless with the gym. I've had it in my mind, this limiting belief that like I can't gain muscle, I can't ever look good. It's something I've overcome over the last like maybe 9 months since working with my bodybuilding coach. But yeah, before that, and I had to do a lot of counseling sessions with him. And I also have another personal trainer who's literally just a mental coach that I pay him like $400 like an hour to just sit down and like get my head right. And they've both been amazing at getting me to overcome that hopelessness. So if you do have any issues with hopelessness, like really bad hopelessness, like where you're convinced that you're just never going to make progress, which is why I fucked around for 4 years and I made progress, but I don't have the body that I want yet. I'm working on it. So if you do have severe hopelessness, I would recommend just paying someone, honestly, if you can afford it. You can pay me. I can get you in touch with my bodybuilding coach if you want to, the guy that's like $400 an hour. I highly recommend him. He's a godsend in terms of like mental shit. Find some other coach. One of the guys in my coaching program is pretty good. He's a personal trainer. His name's Blake. He won't mind me shouting him out. I can put you in touch with him if you want to. He knows his shit. He has an elite body. Even if you have if you can't afford coaching or even just like one coaching session, like a one-off session or something, if you have any friends who are big, like lean and buff and have killer bodies, like just buy them a beer and see if you can just sit down and talk to them and say like, look, man, I feel like I'm not good enough. Like, I feel like I don't deserve to get big, or, whatever it is. I feel like I can't be lean. I feel like I can't look good, and just talk to them. Just talk this shit out. So yeah, the goal is going good. I'm doing pretty good with it. I appreciate you asking. That's cool. But his first question is a big one, dude. You asked the big one. I've answered this on other podcasts. What made me choose Imogen amongst all the women that I was sleeping with to be my main girl? And at what point did I feel that she's the one that I wanted the most, and what made her stand out? So I've answered this in a couple of podcasts. I even did a podcast about Imogen and I did a 2-part series about how our open relationship worked out. I can probably just show you it on the screen so you guys can go and look for it yourself. But we talked through everything with the open relationship, the genesis. Is it this one? Yeah, it must be this one. I think it's this one. Maybe it's this one. Okay, so I did 3. So if you go to theinnerwinnershow.com, I've done a podcast. Man, you guys can't see this shit, can you? Fucking hate this. Let me fix OBS. Here we go. So if you go to theinnerwinnershow.com, there's one called Open Relationships and Boundaries, and Imogen and I talked about how our relationship basically started. There's also another one, Being in Love in an Open Relationship. That's a 2-part series. So just search for any of those 3. Watch all of those. I talk more in detail. Let me hide this so I'm not showing your guys' profiles again. Whoa, there we go. So I talked a fair bit in that. But basically, the long story short is, by the time I met Imogen, I'd slept with, I don't know, I sort of stopped keeping count, but maybe 150 chicks or something like that. And when you've slept with that many, you know what a good chick is and what a bad chick is. Sorry, it's not good and bad. It's like the qualities that you're looking for. You know which chicks suit you and which ones don't. And at that point, I was in a pretty good position. I should say, start again. As I said in those 3 podcasts that I just showed you, I wasn't looking for a girlfriend at all. And the way that I recommend all of you guys get into a relationship is don't get into a relationship. Don't call it serious until you've been sleeping with each other for at least 6 months. Do not call it a relationship before then. Do not get serious. Do not see each other more than once or twice a week. Like, those are sort of the fundamental rules, I guess you'd say, because you're trying to see if the person has any red flags, any deal breakers, how they'll be through a crisis, if they're going to be loyal, if they're just putting on their best, their best mask or their best face to show, like, if they're basically just trying to show you the best version of themselves. But if you've been together for 6 months, you see not their worst side, but like, you know what I mean? You've been with them long enough that they're not faking it anymore. Like, you're seeing the real them, which is why anytime someone says to me, hey, I'm in a relationship with this girl now, we've been dating for 2 months. And I'm like, what the fuck? You don't even know each other. Like, why are you boyfriend, girlfriend? And we're seeing each other like 5 times a week. It's like, oh my God. So hit me up in a month when you break up. And yep, like clockwork, every time you break up after a month because you got too serious too soon. There's nothing wrong with catching feelings for each other. There's nothing wrong with liking each other. But there's a reason I say see each other once or twice a week max, and don't call it serious. Don't get into a serious relationship until at least 6 months. So you can get a feeling for who the other person is, who you are. So with all of that context, it wasn't until like I'd been sleeping with Imogen for like 9 months before I finally said, like, you know what, like, fuck it, And I didn't say we're boyfriend, girlfriend. It was like 9 months I said, like, hey, I love you. And she's like, yeah, I love you too. And, we just kind of let it build organically from there. It's not like we sat down and said, like, right, you're going to be my main girl. I never sat down and said she's going to be my main girl. She just earned that spot. And that's the way you want to do it. You don't ever want to promote a person. Don't see it as a position that needs filling. That's a terrible fucking way of doing it, because you'll be desperate to fill the position and you'll just let any random chick be your girlfriend because you're like, fuck, I need a girlfriend. I want a girlfriend. I really want to just settle down and have a girlfriend. No. You got to do this shit organically. So I'd seen her for 9 months. It wasn't even until like maybe after a year before I was like, yeah, whatever, you're kind of my girlfriend. I don't even think I told her that. It was just like one of her friends said, are you guys boyfriend or girlfriend or something? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you don't have to like make it some official fucking thing. And I wouldn't recommend you do that. Let it grow organically. In terms of like at what point I felt like she's the one that I want the most, like I said, it's not like I sat down and decided she's the one I want the most. It's more just like it naturally grew like that. And then we started fucking girls together, and then it just went from there. I never promoted her into a position, you know what I mean? In terms of what made her stand out, I've talked about this a bunch in a lot of podcasts, a lot of articles and shit like that. She's done a lot of content as well where we've talked about like our, us getting to that point. The things that made her stand out, probably the first one was that she was incredibly fucking driven and incredibly like self-aware and into self-improvement. I was only going to sleep with her a few times, and then I was going to say like, hey, I don't want to see you anymore. And she knows, like, we've talked about that. I even told her that at the time. I said to her, like, look, I'll be honest, like, I'm kind of feeling it, but kind of not feeling it. Like, you're a great girl, but like, I just like physically, she had a bit of weight at that point. She wasn't like massively chubby, but she like had a little bit of extra weight. And she had mentioned to me once or twice, I didn't say like, hey, you're fat, I'm not going to fuck you anymore. But she had mentioned once or twice, like, I think I want to lose weight. And we had a conversation. It was maybe like the 4th time we'd slept together, maybe the 5th time. She was laying on my couch and she said like, I really want to lose weight. And I was like, well, then do it. And she goes like, if I lose weight, will you like keep seeing me for a long time? And I said like, legit, if you lost like a couple of kilograms, yeah, I'd be like super fucking into you. I'm already like into you, but I'm kind of like not desperate like to see you for a long time. But if you lost weight, then fuck yeah. And so she said, all right, I'm going to lose weight. What do I have to do? And I said, I don't know, go exercise, go download MyFitnessPal. And I kind of, in my mind, I was like, oh, she's not serious. Like most people, when they say, I want to lose weight, you're like, whatever, they're not that serious. So I said, just go do that. She came back a week later. She's like, all right, I've lost, half a kilogram. I've downloaded my fitness pal. I've started walking. I've started exercising. I've done this. I've done that. I've started working on my binge eating disorder. She had bulimia and shit like that. Or she started working on that a little bit later, actually. But the point is, she took action immediately. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Like, she could stand to lose a couple of kilograms, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 kilograms at that point, and then I'd be crazy into her. The fact that she's already starting it, okay, I'll see what happens here. I'll be cautious. I'm going to keep banging other girls, obviously. I'll see what happens. And she lost more and more weight. She started like 5 different goals at once and started achieving them. She wasn't happy at university. And I remember just sort of saying to her, a friend and I, just casually said, like, you should probably just quit university. If you don't want to be at university, don't fucking go. And you say that, like, flippantly, not expecting that the person will ever do anything with that information. And then like a couple of weeks later, she's like, okay, so I'm taking a break from university. And then she eventually like dropped out of university. And I was like, holy shit, like she's actually taking action. She then, I remember I had told her about the approach anxiety program, learning how to talk to women in public. And I jokingly said something like, I wish everyone in the world went up to like 15 strangers and just started a conversation with them so they could see like the benefits of the approach anxiety program. And she set herself a challenge, and she actually cold approached. She wasn't hitting on them, but she started conversations with 15 strangers. And for it to count, she said, I have to talk to them for 15 minutes each. And so 15 random strangers she went up to and started a 15-minute conversation, and she made some friends. There was this old Greek lady at a bus stop that she talked to who ended up giving her a bunch of like cookies and biscuits and shit. And, she was terrified to do it. I literally saw her shaking one day, and she's like, I want to do it. Like all the fucking fear. And I was like, you have to do it, pussy. And she's like, she's almost crying, and then she goes off and does it. And seeing her do something that 99.9% of fucking men can't even do. And this was an 18-year-old girl. An 18-year-old girl fucking did that. I was like, God damn, like this girl's got something. Like she's fucking competitive. She's fucking driven. Like, damn, the ball's on her. That's pretty impressive. I also saw a lot of emotional changes. So when I first met her, she wasn't able to make eye contact with pretty much anyone, but especially not men. Like she literally couldn't look me in the eyes. And she and I did a few LSD trips together where I basically gave her counseling. I gave her very fucking intense counseling, incredibly intense counseling. And through a couple of those trips, she got to a point where she just made eye contact with me. And she was just staring into my eyes and smiling. And I was like, is this the first time you've ever like looked a man in the eyes? And she was like, yeah, like literally first time in my entire life. So going through that with her, going through watching her overcome her bulimia and fight that fucking battle and fight her binge eating, the amount of courage that she had to show there as well. She had to come out and tell her fucking family, yeah, I literally binge eat. I shove my fingers down my fucking throat and make myself throw up. And I fucking hate myself. Watching her go through that, watching her go to counseling, I'm not going to go through the details, but there was some childhood trauma that she went through. Watching her open up to me about that, opening up to her friends, eventually getting help for that counseling, watching her overcome that and fix that. There were, like countless other things that I could sit here. The way she handled the 2020, the last 2 years of all the pandemic bullshit, I should say the lockdown shit rather than the pandemic, but how psychotically authoritarian our country, Australia, was. And watching her literally stand up to fucking police officers, male police officers, like twice her size, and watching her have as she's breaking down crying, but still holding firm and still having a pair of fucking balls and having the courageous, like, self-love to not just give in to authoritarianism and bullshit. Yeah, like, I've seen her, she hasn't worn a mask, for instance, like, and almost every other person outside has worn masks every time they're fucking mandatory, but not her. A cute little fucking girl having the confidence to go, no, I believe in something. I don't believe that I should have to do this. I'm going to get yelled at. I'm going to get screamed at. I'm going to get sworn at. I'm going to get people starting fights with me, all of which I've fucking seen countless times. People here are fucking psychos. They care if you don't wear a mask. It's better now. It's slightly better now. We still have vaccine passports, even seeing her handle that shit. Seeing her break down because, like, hey, you literally can't go into any cafe, any restaurant, any museum, any art gallery, any cool place, any of this. You can't do any of that. And seeing her hold firm and go, no, I believe in my principles. I believe in freedom. I believe in love. I don't believe in authoritarianism. She has more balls than 99.999% of supposedly grown men. And so watching all of this, and I could keep going on this, man. I could write a list, and I've actually written an article. I just haven't finished it because I'm always adding more shit to it. Basically about Imogen's self-improvement. And it's a long fucking article. It's already like 30,000 words, and I could just keep adding to it. In fact, the longer I'm with her, I'm obviously just going to keep adding to it. So all of that, and on top of that, the fact that I've slept with 150 women, and at this point she's above and beyond all of them. None of them came close. Not a single one came even remotely fucking close. I'm not even talking about how she is as a human, how she is as a woman, how she is as a person. She's incredibly feminine. She's incredibly, incredibly affectionate. The most affectionate person you will ever meet in your entire life. Every fucking time I see her, giant fucking smile on her face. Multiple times a day, she will tell me, I'm really grateful for you. I'm so glad we're together. I'm so glad you've done all this. 100 times a day, she will fucking, not 100 times a day, 100 times a week, she will tell me, I really respect you. I love your masculinity. I'm really proud of your coaching. Before every single fucking coaching call, she will send me a text. I hope this coaching call goes great. You're a great coach. I believe in you. Your clients are lucky to have you. All of that kind of shit. So add all that together, especially, like I said, the fact that I fucked 150 girls, fucked and dated 150 girls, and none of them come remotely close. You get to a point where, and again, I didn't choose to have her in a relationship. It just happened organically. It's, you're phrasing this question, and I get that this is the way, the question's going to be phrased, but you're phrasing it like, how did I choose her to be my main girl? I didn't choose her to be my main girl. It's more like she's just there. It's really hard to explain. We're not, like, yes, she's my fucking girlfriend at this point. Yes, I love her to bits. Yes, we're like loyal as fuck to each other. Yes, we've been through absolute hell together. We've moved 3 times together, like we're very much, our lives are very much like together. But I didn't choose to make her my main girl. I didn't choose. You literally phrased it like, what made you choose Imogen? I didn't choose Imogen. It's more like she was just in my life, and she's the best the best woman I've ever met. Right up there with my mother. I've said, like, she and my mother are on par, which is a very big fucking compliment. My mother is a wonderful fucking human being. And so I didn't really choose. It's just like, she's there. It's like, I could phrase the question to you, or to you guys, what made you choose your best mate? You didn't choose your best mate, you know what I mean? Like, your best mate is just your best mate. He's there because he's loyal. He's there because he does shit for you. He's there because he would take a fucking bullet for you. Imogen would take a fucking bullet for me and not even complain. I would take a bullet for her too. And so it's more just like your best mate is there. Imogen is just there. So I didn't choose her. If anything, she chose me. The number of times she said to me, I want to be with you. Like, will you be with me? Yeah. It's not like I chose her. She really wanted to be my girl. And I was like, well, fuck it. I like having you here. If anything, she chose me. Yeah, it'd probably be like that. Or she earned my loyalty. Maybe you phrase it like that. Again, I think the best friend analogy is the most apt analogy. It's like, you don't choose your best friends. They just earned your fucking loyalty. So you'd take a bullet for them. So, yeah. Rice. Man, why is your username Rice and you literally look Asian? Like, fitting the fucking stereotype, bro. I like it. So, Rice, you guys can't see their username or their picture. I've hidden them. So this guy, Rice, why do you recommend Tinder Gold instead of Tinder Platinum? As I answered below, I don't. I recommend Tinder Platinum. My Tinder guide was written quite a few years ago, and I just haven't gone through and updated it again. I might at some point. It's not that important. Just use Tinder Platinum. If you really don't have any money, use Tinder Gold. Yeah. Ovnidos. Why do you guys all have really difficult names to say? Ovnidos. He says, I heard from older guys here that the sexual market has gone harder, like it's harder and harder to get laid with the years. Do you think it's true? Well, how am I going to know? I wasn't alive back then. It's probably true. It is definitely harder for me now in 2022 than it was in 2019. I think a big part of that is all the fucking news making everyone freaked out about like bullshit diseases that aren't even actually scary at all. The girls basically afraid to go outside without wearing a fucking mask. So yeah, everyone's basically a coward at this point in time. The Russia-Ukraine bullshit isn't helping. Everyone's basically, now they're all going to be afraid of nuclear war and World War III and whatever bullshit next. So yes, it's definitely harder. However, harder is not impossible. So don't worry if something's harder, just try harder yourself. What's the future of the so-called sexual marketplace? So I've answered questions like this before. You're basically asking me, first of all, you're asking me to predict the future. Second of all, you're asking me like, will I be able to get laid in the future? Yes, of course you will. And then the third thing is take responsibility. There's a very good book I would recommend called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Go and find that book, Extreme Ownership. And basically one of his core principles is adapt. And take responsibility. So I wouldn't be sitting there worried about like, is it going to get harder and harder and harder? It's like, no, you just need to adapt, or don't. Just don't get laid if you want to do that. But if you're on my forums, this guy's already made 250 posts. You don't seem like the kind of guy that won't adapt. You don't seem like a pussy. So you'll be fine, dude. You'll just adapt. Like, we'll adapt. If we all get fucking banned from Tinder or some shit, okay, we'll go outside and talk to girls. If it's illegal to go outside and talk to girls in your country, then you'll move. Or you'll figure out a way to hit on girls without hitting on girls. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be their friend first. You'll literally just start a conversation as a friend, and then on a date, you'll be like, by the way, you're really cute. And then you'll hit on them that way. If it's illegal to fucking, I don't know, like, if it's so illegal to even go outside because the next fucking false flag virus comes along and we're not allowed to go outside anymore, then you'll figure out ways to get girls over to your house. Even during all the COVID bullshit, even when it was literally illegal for girls to come over, what do you think I just wasn't having sex? No. Do you think my friends were just not having sex? No, you find ways to have sex. So I will do plenty of content on that if the sexual marketplace changes that much. It's not really going to change. And even if your country goes to absolute shit, which this guy's in France, so condolences, bro. Your country handled shit as poorly as mine did over the last 2 years. France had a lot of fucking bullshit authoritarianism too, bro. Just leave. Like, that's always an option. I'm getting the fuck out of this country by 2025. That's my plan. I'm probably going to renounce my Australian citizenship and I'm going to live somewhere else. So that's always an option too. But yeah, good questions, dude. Good questions. So basically you'll be fine. You'll learn to adapt. I'm not going to let any of you guys, I guess I can make a greater point here and say, I'm not going to let any of you guys be miserable. So don't stress about that. And you guys got to give yourself a little credit as well. You guys will figure out how to adapt. You'll figure out ways to have sex. Even if cold approach is illegal and Tinder is illegal, you'll find a different way to have sex. If you absolutely fucking have to do it, you'll just pay for sex. You know what I mean? Like, that's always a fucking option. Yeah, I know none of us want to use like prostitutes and escorts and shit, but like, that's an option. You're never not going to have sex, so don't stress about that. Same guy as before, Avi Hi. Says, I got a third question. I think this guy actually, yeah, he did. He asked like 7 questions. So do you have any tips for getting a cheap place in a large city? He said, I read on your guide that you live in a 5 million plus city, and I remember you saying you got it cheap. No, I didn't, bro. I was paying like top dollar for my apartment. What are you talking about? I took out a $10,000 bank loan so that I could move to the city for a year and get laid a lot. So do I have any tips on getting a cheap place in a large city? If you live outside the center of the city, like the very center, like in New York, that would be like Times Square. In my old city, I lived in this, like the equivalent of Times Square. Like I was literally on the main street in the very center of the city. So if you just decide not to do that, it will be cheaper. Like if you live on the outskirts of the city, like maybe 20 minutes drive from the center, that will be cheaper. If you share with a couple of people, that will be cheaper. Yeah, I can't really give you any tips on getting a cheaper place other than that. There's not any shortcut. It's not like, yeah, there's not really any shortcut. It's like either live with someone or live outside of the city center or find an ultra cheap city. So maybe I can say that too. It looks like you're in America. Yeah, you are. Move to a cheap fucking country if you want to, bro. Go live in like the Philippines or Thailand or somewhere, or, you know, anywhere of those sort of places. A lot of South America. Go live in Mexico. That shit's cheap as fuck, dude. Like for $1,000 or so, $2,000, you can live like pretty comfortably, as opposed to in America where it costs you like $4,000 fucking dollars to live. By the time you add bills and rent and everything else, and Australia is even worse, bro. Australia is so fucking bad. Our taxes are so dog shit here. But yeah, that would be my answer. His next question, do I ever feel like I lose my sexual edge and desire to keep pushing after you get one friends with benefits? That's a very common thing at the start. What you need to do is teach yourself not to get complacent. It's a habit. It's a mindset. You're letting yourself get complacent after you get one friends with benefit. And if you want to do that, fine. there's a million different reasons why I would say don't just have one friends with benefit. I think you guys kind of could intuitively figure out what all those are. You know, you'll get a bit needy. You'll rely on her too much. You'll see her too many times a week. You'll get depressed if she's ever busy for a week or two, or if she's on her period, or if she goes away. Yeah, there's a million different reasons. You're going to have to push through it. Yeah. I find it hard to keep that sexual motivation. Why do you need motivation? So this is another really good point. Really good question, dude. So a lot of people rely on motivation and they think like, when I'm horny and sexually motivated, that's when I go talk to women. No, you need to, Caleb Jones, Black Dragon, he has the best mindset on this. He says you need to treat your woman life like a business. Now, that doesn't mean it's not fun. He's not saying it's cold and business-like, but he means you wouldn't just go, oh, I don't feel like making money this week, so I'm not going to go to work. No, like you understand you have to go and pay the fucking bills, right? I don't get to just say, I've had plenty of weeks where I don't feel like jumping on a coaching call. Sometimes I even say that to my clients. I'll say like, hey, I really don't want to fucking be here today, but I'm going to get the fuck over myself. I'm going to be here for you. We're going to have the best goddamn call ever. And this is going to be a great fucking session. And they're like, fuck yeah, let's do it, buddy. So I've had plenty of times where I don't want to be there, but I shut up and I do it because I need the money. I need to pay the bills. But for some reason with sex, guys, I don't know, they think they can just get lazy. And you can get lazy, but there'll be all the negative consequences. You can technically not go to your job, but then you won't be able to pay the bills. So you can technically get lazy and not hit on chicks if you want to, and then you're going to suffer all of the consequences of having one friends with benefits. You're going to see all of the negative consequences, and you're going to go, oh, that's what Andy was talking about, and Caleb Jones, and everybody else who says, and the Red Pill, and everybody else who says, don't have one friends with benefits, for fuck's sake. So, yeah, treat it like a business. Treat it like, even if I'm not motivated, I have to do it anyway. Otherwise, I'm going to suffer the consequences of one friends with benefit. And you can choose to do that. Like I said, you're allowed to have one friends with benefit if you want to, but then you don't get to complain when you start feeling needy. You don't get to complain if she tells you, hey, you're really needy. You don't get to complain if she eventually stops seeing you and now you have no women. You don't get to complain about any of those things. So keep that in mind. I don't want to be at a point where I'm, only have one girl and I'm not happy and blah, blah, blah. So that's why you're doing this. Don't worry about motivation. That's your motivation. That's your motivation. The same way as you're not always motivated to go to work, but you don't want to be fucking homeless, so you go to work. Number 5, what do you think about double, triple texting girls you've already slept with? I'm worried about looking needy. Why are you worried about looking needy? Because you have one friends with benefit. So here is your question. Here is your solution. Here is your problem. Here is your solution. I want 3. I want 3 girls that I'm sleeping with. You don't need 3. 3 is great. Minimum 2. But yeah. So the question itself doesn't even matter. Like literally doesn't matter. Like, what do you think about double tricks? You wouldn't even be asking that question, like I said, if you were sleeping with a couple of girls. Literally. Or if you just knew you could sleep with a couple of girls, you wouldn't care. That's an option too. You don't even have to be currently sleeping with a lot of women. You just have to embrace the idea of an abundance mindset. Abundance mindset doesn't mean you have an abundance. It means in your mind, you can have an abundance. That's why it's mindset. It's not abundance. We don't call it abundance. We call it abundance mindset. So you have to show yourself or teach yourself or tell yourself that there are infinite women out there. If I just keep down this process of self-improvement and talking to a lot of women and looking good, I can get laid with as many women as I fucking want. The sky's the limit. I can stop whenever I want. I have literal abundance. Why do I care if I double or triple text a girl and she's put off? Why would I care? I'll just go talk to the next girl. Like, you wouldn't even be asking the question if you fully embrace that idea of like, yeah, I do have infinite options outside. Like, why do I can go outside and talk to infinite girls. I can go on Tinder and talk to infinite girls. Why do I care if I double or triple text girls? Also, you wouldn't, again, even be asking this question if you were busy. If you were busy with other girls, or busy with self-improvement, or busy with another mission, or busy with your friends, or busy going to the gym and doing all that shit, you wouldn't have time to double or triple text girls, or you wouldn't be that concerned about it because you're busy. So yeah, the answer is to keep busy, go do a bunch of cool shit, go hang out with your friends, go to the gym, work on yourself, all of that, and go talk to more women. And tell yourself in your mind, I have an abundance mentor. I have abundance. I literally have infinite girls. Just because I'm only fucking one right now doesn't mean that I can't fuck infinite girls if I want to. So what do I care if this girl leaves me or if she thinks I'm needy? Why do I even care about looking needy? What does it matter? If I'm needy, it's not the end of the world. She either won't care, or she'll care a little bit, or she'll break up with me. None of those even matter. because I'll just go talk to more girls and I'll stop being needy. You know what I mean? It's not as big a problem as you think it is. The fact that you worry about it is the problem, not the fact that you could look needy. That doesn't even matter. You'll fix it. Number 6, would you recommend recording a voice thing on Hinge if your voice is not deep? Yeah, so another question that doesn't matter. And this is a theme with you, and I'm pointing that out because that's what you need to hear. You don't need me to answer these fucking questions. These are literally like irrelevant questions. These are you asking questions to avoid rejection, avoid failure, and the best thing I can do for you is say, this question doesn't fucking matter. I'm not going to answer it because it doesn't fucking matter. The answer is try it and see. Why don't you try recording a voice thing, even if your voice isn't deep? And if you suddenly get 0 matches for the next 6 months, then, oh shit, maybe it's my voice. But I suspect what will happen is what always fucking happens. You record a voice thing. It doesn't make much of a difference. Like maybe you get slightly more matches, maybe slightly less matches. And you just keep improving yourself, taking better pictures, going outside and talking to women, getting laid, having fun, building that abundance mindset. And then you won't even ask questions like this. I don't have a deep voice. I do right now. But when I'm excited, I sound like this when I'm excited. I always literally sound like this. If you listen to me on a podcast, I'll sound like this. Go back and listen to half my podcast. I literally sound like this. Like a high-pitched little fucking... You know what I mean? But who gives a shit? I don't care. I'm chubby right now. Not massively chubby, but like I'm not lean. I was pale as fuck for most of my getting laid. I was a skinny nerd for a lot of my getting laid shit. Like you don't need to be as perfect as you think you do. You're basically trying to avoid rejection here. And the answer is like, I'm sorry, dude, but you're going to have to try your voice. And if it's too high pitched, then you won't get any matches or you'll get less matches and then you'll figure it out. You're basically, if you don't embrace this mindset of giving yourself permission to suck and just experiment, if you don't embrace that mindset, you're not going to get as far as you otherwise could. You'll probably quit or you'll probably get really fucking bogged down because what you're doing here is you're basically asking me to save you from rejection. And you're also not enabling yourself to have some intuition, to have some confidence, to have some self-resolve to try this shit yourself. So you're going to have to go out there, experiment a bit, try some of these things. You know, like you saying before, can I tell girls that they're sexier? Yes, you have. Why are you asking me? I'm not your dad. Like, and nobody on the forums will be your dad. At some point, they'll get sick of these questions and they'll say, bro, you need to just fucking stop being a pussy. Just go try this stuff. Why are you so afraid of failure? So I understand you're asking all these questions because I literally said I'm doing an ask me anything. And I understand from your point of view, you're going to want to like ask as many questions as possible. I get that. So maybe I'm being a little harsh on you here, but I am trying to drill into you a really important point, which is it's okay to get all this stuff wrong. It's okay. It's okay for you to record a voice message and your voice is too high and girls think you're a fucking weird pussy or something. And then you realize like, oh, okay, I should deepen my voice or I shouldn't do a voice message. That's okay. You're acting like the world would fall apart if something bad happened. No, you'll just learn. You'll get feedback. I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be doing these ask me anythings every single day or something to answer all your questions. The guys on the forums won't answer all your questions. And even if we could, we're not out with you every single time you go talk to women or every time you go on Tinder. You are going to have to be okay with doing a bit of this on your own. And more to the point, you're going to have to be okay with fucking some of this stuff up. That's okay. Your 7th question is exactly the same one. See? I'm paranoid that calling certain girls sexy, as in the girls who have like, you know, feminism and shit in their bio. I'm paranoid that calling these girls sexy will get my profile banned. And what happens if your profile gets banned? Does the world shut down? You literally use the word paranoid. You need to be very aware of what your brain is doing to you here. Paranoid. You didn't say like, oh, I'm just not sure. You said I'm paranoid. Paranoid. As in this is causing me fear. I'm literally paranoid that my profile will get banned. What will happen if your profile gets banned? And this is a very useful exercise that I want you to do anytime you have a fear or a paranoia. Guys, this applies to all of you. Anytime you're worried about something, what you want to do is a technique called what's the worst that will happen? And so if your profile gets banned, what's the worst that will happen? You can't use that profile. Okay, what will you do then? All right, well, I have to get a new phone number. I'll have to set up a new profile. I might have to use different pictures because Tinder bans you if you use the exact same pictures. I'll have to either mirror them, like rotate them slightly or edit them a little bit in Photoshop. That's easy. Or just use different pictures. That's easy. Okay, I'll set up another profile. You know, And then I'll go through that. Okay, then what's the worst that could happen? Fuck, what if that profile gets banned? Okay, then I'll make another profile. Oh my God, but what if that profile gets banned? Then at some point, I'll either just keep making infinite profiles, which is, by the way, what I do. I, Andy, have to make a new profile probably every 3 to 5 months. I have BDSM pictures on my profile. I tell girls literally, I want to fucking tie you up and shit. I get banned all the time. Literally every 3 months, I have to make a new phone number, new everything, new Tinder profile. So does my girlfriend Imogen on her profile. She has a profile with the same sort of shit, her pictures of her with BDSM, and she's looking for other girls for us to sleep together. She gets banned probably more than me. And we just make a new profile. And even if that infinitely kept happening, then what would you do? You'd go outside and talk to women. You go, fuck Tinder. They're all a bunch of fucking poofters. I'm going to either use Hinge, or if they ban me too, they can get fucked. I'm going to go outside and talk to women. Cool. Do you know how many people have built elite sex lives from only talking to women outside? My best mate, one of my best mates, used to only go outside and talk to women. He got laid like 50 times. I had another friend called Bad Idea Bear from the old Good Looking Loser forums. He got laid like 40 or 50 times from just going outside and talking to women. So you're paranoid about something that isn't even that bad at all. And so anytime you guys feel yourself saying that you're paranoid or worried or scared or fearful, you need to do that exercise I just talked you through of what's the worst thing that will happen. We're going to go back up to this guy here. I skipped his question. So basically he wants me to give a little bit of feedback on some photos that he took. I've asked him permission. I've said, are you happy for me to show your pictures on YouTube? And he said, yes. Fuck it, go for it. Yeah, so basically here's his pictures. I will make sure, you guys should be able to see them. Yeah, you can see them. And so he took a bunch of pictures. And what I want you guys to start doing when you take pictures, or even when you give feedback to other people's Tinder pictures, is rather than, this is the mistake that people make. They will look at each individual picture and be like, oh, no, in this one, you're not doing this right. This is wrong. This is bad. Like in this one, it's like, why have you tilted the fucking camera, bro? Why are we on a 45-degree angle? Like, fix that shit. What are you doing? This isn't the 90s. That's not how we take pictures. Like, they'll give feedback like that. And then they'll go to the second one and be like, nah, no, it's not good. It's good for this reason. It's bad for that. Don't do that. What you want to do when you're giving feedback to someone's pictures, or when you yourself take a bunch of pictures, or even if you take one new picture, you need to look at it in the full context of your full profile. And so before you even look at the first picture, scroll through all of them. And that's what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to scroll through all the pictures. I'm not going to say anything. And I want you guys to think. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to think after I do this. I want you to tell me in your own head, think about the vibe, the overall vibe that these pictures altogether give off. And that's what I want you guys to do when you take a new picture. Look at the whole profile you have, including that new picture, and think about the vibe you're giving off. As in, if a girl is looking at you, what kind of person is she going to think that you are? Like, what kind of vibe is she going to get from you? Are you a cool guy? Are you an interesting guy? Do you have a lot of friends? Are you a super social guy? Are you someone with a lot of hobbies? Do you look like you have no friends and you're a loner? Do you look like you work too much? Do you look like a rich, cool businessman? Do you look like a traveler? Like, do you look like a fucking sports jock? Like, what kind of vibe are you giving off? Do you look like a model? So I'm going to scroll through it, and then I'll give you guys 10 seconds to sort of think about what vibe you're getting from all these pictures, like as a total vibe. Okay, so that's all the pictures. Obviously, there were some duplicates. He took multiple pictures of the same thing to, try and figure out the same, which one of those we want to tell him to use. But I'll give you guys a couple of seconds. Pause the video if you want, and think about what kind of vibe you get from all those pictures in total. All right, and I'll tell you the vibe that I get. I get the vibe of a reasonably well-dressed guy who is a loner. And the reason that I say that is he is alone in very bleak, very empty locations. Look at this. That looks like some post-Armageddon, middle of the nowhere, like warehouse, literally in a car park, I don't know, on top of a building or something. Like, There's not a single person, even in the back. There we go. We found someone in the background that you wouldn't even spot, honestly. You wouldn't see that head behind his shoulder. But you get my point. In every picture, there's no one in the background. You look like you've gone to the most remote, like literally looks post-apocalyptic. I know the buildings aren't broken or something, but like, fuck me, there's like no one there. There's no car. It's like empty. There we go. There's a car down there. Yay. But like, it gives off the vibe that you're a loner. And I'm sure you're not that, but remember that this is your resume that you're showing to girls. And so this is the vibe they're going to get. You have a photo of your body. You have a great body. Like, fucking show that off, dude. But you've just taken a picture in your bathroom. Imagine if that was a picture of you at the beach, maybe at a sunset. Doesn't have to be sunset, but that would be amazing. Or at the park or something. But at the beach and there's waves in the background. There's a bunch of people in the background. Or maybe you at the gym flexing and there's like a bunch of people in the background. This one here, archery. Imagine if we could see where you're shooting. So if they're taking it behind your head, like facing down the archery range, like, so we're almost looking over your shoulder and we can see the target. Or you, but then there's like 20 people behind you also like in the distance, also shooting arrows. That would be cool. That would be like more social rather than just like you. Here, you like watering the plants. What if you were watering the plants like with a friend or with a girl or with a cat there or a dog or like anything else? Also, it's clearly just in your backyard. And like, again, you look really good. You're dressed really well. I love the fucking kind of messy, sort of semi-long hair. Necklace looks good. Big fucking fat watch. Yeah, good. Maybe the shirt could be a little tighter. Maybe you could go a V-neck instead of the shirt you're wearing. But that's just nitpicking, honestly. Like, here, you're dressed pretty well, bro. You've put effort into your fucking appearance. You've just sat in some like post-apocalyptic like wasteland. I definitely prefer the one with the glasses. Versus no glasses, but like that's a decent photo. Like you're contemplative. There's just nothing. Do you get what I mean? Like it would be a great photo if it was like a cityscape or something, and we could see people in the background, or even just city buildings. But this just looks too bleak, especially in combination with all the other photos that are also very bleak and very empty. This as well. Imagine if you were on your skateboard down like the main, I don't know, strip or something, like a bar strip or something, and there's a bunch of people in the background, or maybe you're standing on a board talking to someone who's standing next to you, like a candid, moment. Same thing here. Yeah, all these photos are just like, you're just standing in the middle of nowhere. And so you're dressed well. The concepts for these photos are cool. It's just the location that needs to change and getting more people in the background. And don't take selfies. I know you even said, I'm going to replace this one. You said, I know this is bad in my bathroom. Fine. But go to the beach, go to a park, go to a gym, go hang out with your boys, go do something, go in a fucking swimming pool, dude. Go to a swimming pool. You basically just need to change the location of these photos more than anything else and get some more people in the background. And that will change it from like, the vibe of these is like loner guy who doesn't actually ever hang anywhere near other people, like literally doesn't go near other human beings. It will change from that to like, oh, cool guy who does like cool shit and he's dressed well and he hangs out in public where there are other people. So that's going to make the biggest fucking difference. And guys, I want you to always think about the vibe that your profile picture, the vibe that your whole profile is giving off. That is infinitely more important than each individual picture. Too many of you, in fact, almost all of you, obsess too much about like the individual photos rather than the whole vibe that it's giving off. So the vibe is way more important. Same guy as before, the guy that asked a lot of questions, Avi Hi. He says, I try to stick to the game plan for dates and drinks of roughly 1 hour. Like you hang out for 1 hour and then you say, hey, do you want to come back to my apartment? He basically says sometimes the girls say, let's meet up again and get lunch or let's grab dinner. I usually say no to that and I suggest getting drinks instead so I can stick to the plan and avoid having to go on food dates. Is this the right thing to do? Generally speaking, yeah, dude. I don't go on lunch dates or dinner dates. It's just awkward, man. Like, that's what you do with your fucking friends. Or it's what you do with a girl once you've slept together a bunch of times and, you're almost getting towards like boyfriend, girlfriend or something. Or maybe you guys sleep together and then you go, yeah, I'm hungry. Let's go grab a bite to eat before you go home. Like, yeah, I don't go on lunch or dinner dates, generally speaking, with someone you haven't slept with. Yeah, it's not the right vibe. It's not really the vibe we're going for. It's more like friend. It's hard to have a fucking date or intimate or relationship or sex vibe while you're eating lunch or dinner. It's just not romantic. So you're doing the right thing there. Yeah. should I be doing things to try and have more fun with these girls, like geocaching or something? You can if you want to. Do whatever you want. Again, like, a lot of your questions are basically like, Andy, can you please give me permission or tell me what to do? And it's like, no, dude, you're going to have to, if you want to get good at life, but getting laid as well, you're going to have to give yourself way more permission to fuck things up, to make mistakes, to try things, to experiment, to take initiative. Again, I'm not going to be there like answering these questions. Neither are the guys on the forums. And I might sound like I'm being harsh on you here, but I'm trying to really drill the most important thing I could ever teach you. You're 24, and generally speaking, yeah, guys in their early to mid 20s don't get this concept. It's because you're not that far out of like high school and possibly college, and so you're used to people telling you what to do or giving you direction. You're also, when you're that young, you're a little more afraid of coloring outside the lines. Whereas when you're like mid 30s, yeah, you fucking don't give a shit what society thinks. You're just going to do whatever the fuck you want. You're more likely to have that mindset. So to some extent, I understand why you're asking a lot of questions. Again, I understand that you're asking a lot of questions because I'm doing an Ask Me Anything and you're going like, oh, I want to get as much value out of that as I can. I get that. But I really want to drill it into you, dude, that like you want to give yourself more permission to fuck some things up, to try some things. So you saying like, should I try geocaching? It's like, my question to you would be, why have you not already tried geocaching? Like, if it's already on your mind, why are you waiting until I tell you yes? Again, you're going to make the slowest or no progress if you wait for other people to sign off on everything that you're thinking of doing. You have to go and do it and then say, hey, I tried geocaching. I didn't really like it. Andy, any tips? Like, why didn't I like it? Should I try something different? Like, you know what I mean? That's a better question. Or, Andy, I've tried geocaching. I tried talking about fun topics. I tried this. I still feel like I'm not having as much fun as I could be. Do you have any more tips? So you're always going to get better advice and you're always going to get more help and you're going to go further if you try something and then ask for feedback or ask for suggestions rather than what you're doing here with these questions, which is, can you please give me permission to do it? You don't need my permission. You don't need anybody on the forum's permission. You just have to do it. So the next guy, Striker. Do you have any advice for making conversations with girls more flirty or fun, or is it just something you build by getting more experience in those scenarios? Yeah, so you already get the answer. The second part is the answer. When you get more experience, it's easier. It's way easier to be flirty and have more fun when you're more chilled, when you're more experienced, when you've done it more, because you're more comfortable. But in terms of advice, in my Tinder guide, if you go and read my Tinder guide, and I can't show it on screen because there's nude pictures in there and this is going on YouTube, but go to my Tinder guide. I'll leave a link in the description below to that. And I have a whole section on what to talk about, how to make the date fun. I literally have a dot point list of how to have fun on a date. The key point I can give you is try and have fun, focus on you having fun, and then she will come along for the ride. So what I mean by that is you focus on the things that are fun for you. So if you would find it fun to walk around high-fiving strangers, do that. If you would find it fun to do something fun like geocaching, go and do that. If you would find it fun to sit there and talk about the meaning of life and fucking spirituality or some shit, talk about that. Whatever shit you would find really fun, have fun with that, and then she will enjoy that too. It's easier to make yourself have fun versus trying to make someone else have fun. You can't always control the other person, but you can ensure that you have fun. In terms of flirty, I'm never flirty on, okay, I'm a little bit flirty, but not really. I'm not really flirty. I'm flirty in that confident way that I don't really care what happens. And so that comes off as like a flirty kind of confidence, but I've never tried to be flirty. Instead of trying to be flirty, what I want you guys to do is focus on just asking questions that have to do with dating or sex or kinks or previous relationships or previous Tinder experiences, any of that shit. So literally ask questions like, tell me your worst Tinder story. What's your like worst fucking Tinder story? Tell me your best fucking Tinder story. Tell me like what's the craziest thing that a guy's ever fucking said to you on a date? Just start talking about dates or intimacy. You can start talking about, from there you can then start talking about sex. You can say like, all right, what's the weirdest thing that a guy's ever asked you to do in the bedroom? Like, I'm not going to judge. Tell me the weirdest fucking thing. And then you can say, What's something that's on your bucket list? What's something you've always wanted to try in the bedroom, but you just never have had a chance? Like, I'm not going to judge. I'm pretty open-minded. What's something you want to try? And just go through those kind of questions. You don't have to sit there and make it flirty. You're literally just talking about sex or dating or intimacy or relationships or past experiences. You're talking about it the same way you would talk about, like, you know, what do you study at university? It's just a question. So change it in your mind that sex isn't something we have to be flirty and smooth and confident and fun and more experienced and shit. No, you're just asking questions. It's just a topic that you're talking about. I am so fucking clinical, normal in the way I talk about sex with girls. Literally, we'll just be hanging out. We'll be just talking about random shit. Like, what do you do for work? Do you study this, that, fucking those kind of questions? How long have you lived in this city? Have you traveled anywhere? How was your weekend? What did you do? And then I'll just literally say, like, what's something you've always wanted to try in the bedroom? Like, I'll literally just say that. What's your biggest kink that you've never told anyone? Tell me the most fucked up kink that you have. You don't have to say that. But yeah, I just ask these kind of questions. I literally just say it like that. And I'll say it like clinically, like just like it's a normal topic to talk about, because it is. It's just a normal topic. Sex is just a very fucking normal topic. And so don't put the pressure on yourself to be flirty or fun. Just talk about sex. Literally, just talk about sex. And if you're not that experienced, like this guy in his profile, it looks like he just lost his virginity this year, I would take it, or maybe last year, but like recently. And so if you're not super experienced and she asks you about your experience or your kinks or any of that, just say that. I've worked with so many fucking coaching clients and shit that are virgins. And if you're honest with it and you just embrace it and make it a fun thing, like a good thing, you can talk about sex even if you haven't had a lot of sex, or even if you're a virgin. You can literally just say like, oh, I haven't had a lot of experience, but like, man, I'm so fucking keen to try like this. I've always wanted to try ropes. I want to try blindfolds. One day I want to have a fucking threesome. Like, I just want to get into that. That'd be amazing. I really just want to like learn to edge a girl, like tease her, get her really close to orgasming, maybe use a vibrator. I've always wanted to go to a sex toy shop. You know what? We should, if this goes well, like maybe we'll go to a sex toy shop together and we'll look at the toys. And yeah, you can talk about stuff even if you haven't done anything. If you have enthusiasm and you're excited and you say what you want to try. The number one thing that inexperienced guys do wrong is they get ashamed of the fact that they're not very experienced, and they think like, oh, I have to be super flirty and fun and charming, and I can't talk about sex. We can't actually bring up the topic about sex because I haven't had a lot of sex. It's like, just talk about what you want to do then. Ask her questions about her sex life and her dating life and shit like that. Yeah, so don't put pressure on yourself to be flirty or fun or super experienced. No, just talk about sex. Like it's any other topic, which it is. Once you've had enough sex, you see that it is literally just another topic to talk about. Or I shouldn't even say once you've had a lot of sex. Once you've talked about sex on dates, after you've talked to 5 girls about sex on dates, it's the most normal thing in the world to you. You don't even hesitate. You're just like, oh, like when was the last time you fucking, I don't know, put a butt plug in your ass? Like literally, you'll just ask questions like that. You won't even care. Like you literally won't care. You'll say like, what toys do you have? Do you have any vibrators or anything? And she'll go, yeah, I have a couple of vibrators. Girls are always like shy when you first ask that. You're like, oh, like what are they? Like which ones? You know, I know this guy, Andy. You don't have to say who I am, but Andy recommends this big fucking like Magic Wand vibrator. Have you ever tried that? Yeah, just bring these topics up. Don't think that you have to be smooth. A drizzle. I think this is the last question, actually, which is good because I have a maintenance man coming to fix my shower in a little bit, so we might wrap up in a second. A drizzle. So that's the first cool name. I think this guy has the first cool name. Although Striker was a cool name, so there you go. What does the first hour of your day look like? Okay, I always want to know the intent when someone asks this question. Are you asking it because you're going to copy my day? In which case, that would be the worst thing you could ever do. And I love how it always cracks me up when a lot of like productivity experts and a lot of people who have done great things in their life, it's like they're fucking solipsistic or something. If you don't know what solipsism is, go look that up. But it's like a lot of these people are solipsistic, where they'll say, because I've had a lot of success, you must copy my daily routine. Whatever I do, whatever my first hour of the day looks like, you have to copy that. I think probably the worst fucking example of this is a guy that I love to pieces, Jocko Willink. Fucking love his book, Extreme Ownership. Love his podcast. Love the dude. He's fucking amazing. But he pushes this retard notion of getting up at 4 a.m. And the number of people that I've seen that get up at 4 a.m. because they go, Jocko Willink gets up at 4 a.m. And even though I am literally shitting on my sleep and ruining my productivity, got to get up at 4 a.m. because Jocko Willink does it. And Jocko Willink is successful. The number of people I've seen who just copy paste David Goggins and they go, I got to run till my ankles bleed because David Goggins does it and David Goggins is successful. And it's like, yeah, and you're not David Goggins. Why are you trying to be David Goggins? And so if you're asking this question because you want to copy the first hour of my day, please don't. Don't copy the first hour of my day. But I will tell you what the first hour of my day looks like. It's not that impressive. It's not that amazing. It's probably no different to yours. But please don't copy the first hour of my day. So I get up at about 7 a.m., roughly, sometimes 6 a.m., between 6 and 7 a.m. I go to sleep at between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., as in I'm asleep, literally. So I'm in bed before that. I meditate, all that. But I get my 8 hours of sleep. I get up at either 6 or 7. I will lie in bed for about maybe 10 minutes, reading emails, answering some comments on YouTube, little bits and pieces, kind of just procrastinating for a little bit, for about 10 minutes, get up, brush my teeth, immediately go to the gym. I go to the gym 6 days a week. Go to the gym. I'm in there for about an hour and a half. So that answers your question. You said, what does the first hour of my day look like? But whatever, we'll keep going. Go to the gym for about an hour and a half, come home, eat a protein bar or some rice or something, a little bit of a meal, mini meal. And then I will get to work either on a coaching call or I will do some podcasts or I will write an article. I will do something like that. And then I'll have a little break for lunch and then I'll do more podcasts or maybe another coaching call. It's 2 p.m. right now as I record this. So, this is my second session of doing podcasts and articles and shit today. I'm usually done by, I don't know, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. I'll go for a walk. Maybe for an hour or so, listen to a podcast, read a book or something, maybe go sit on the beach, and then I'll spend time with Imogen, either walking or we'll have sex or we'll see a girl or we'll go and do something. And then I'm in bed. Like I said, I start meditating and then I'm in bed by like 8 p.m. and then I'm asleep by like 9 p.m. Reading books and shit until 9 p.m. So don't copy what I do. It's very important you don't just copy the first hour of my day because you might be a late sleeper. If you aren't familiar with the term, go and read Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep. And he talks about there are two types of people. There's like nocturnal people and early risers, right? And I'm a early sleeper and I wake up 6 a.m., maybe 7 a.m. I can't sleep in past like 7 a.m. I can't. The people who can sleep in till 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. blow my fucking mind. I can't do that. That's not me. I can't. And I also can't stay up that late. I can't stay up past like 11 p.m. I'm just dead. Especially if I tried to stay up till like 2 a.m. I'll be fucking dead. Whereas some of you, if you tried to go to sleep at 9 p.m., you would just lay in bed for 5 hours unable to fall asleep. And if I told you have to wake up at 6 a.m., you'd wake up and you'd be a zombie, which again is why it blows my mind that people copy Jocko Willink and that he tells people to copy him and get up at 4 a.m. That's fucking retarded. You're not Jocko Willink. Don't do that. So figure out what kind of sleeper you are. Matthew Walker's book will help, Why We Sleep. And if you're someone that sleeps later, don't copy my routine. Don't get up at 6 a.m. and go straight to the gym. On that note, maybe you're not the early morning gym person. I can't go to the gym in the evening. It just doesn't work. I have no energy. I want to wind down. I want to meditate. I want to be out there with my fucking girlfriend. I want to be out there with my boys doing something. I want to go on the beach. I don't want to go to the fucking gym in the afternoon, let alone the evening. Like, get fucked. No. If you told me I had to go to the gym in the evening, I'd be like, well, I'm never going to the gym then. Like, I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I've tried it. No. I need to go to the gym in the morning. The morning is when I lift the best. You might not be that person. You might go to the gym at 6 in the morning and go like, I'm not even awake yet. What the fuck am I doing in the gym? You'll try and do a bicep curl and you'll just fall over and fall asleep. Let alone deadlifting or squatting or benching or something. You'll just kill yourself. Like, there are some people that can't go to the gym first thing in the morning. So all of this is me saying, please don't copy my first hour of the day. Maybe this was just an innocent little question, but I really want to fucking drill it in. Never, ever, ever copy what I'm doing just because I do it. You can try it. Like, copy it and try it. But don't keep doing it if it's very clear that it's not working for you or if it just doesn't suit your personality and you give it a good shot. So yes, try it, sure. But if you give it a good shot and you go like, man, I can't work out in the morning. I can't go to the gym within 15 fucking minutes of waking up. I'm not even awake. I can't walk outside. I'll get hit by a car or something. I'll fall asleep. If that's you, like if you can't do that, don't keep doing it. Figure out what works for you. The most productive thing you could ever do. Here's the best productivity tip I can ever give you. The best productivity hack. Figure out what works for you. Yes, you can try what I've done. You can try what Jocko Willink says. You can try a bunch of different shit. Sure. You might not know what works for you until you try it all. But as soon as you find something that works really well for you, that's what works really well for you. And if someone else comes and says, why are you sleeping until 10 a.m.? You're lazy. Late risers get that all the time. If you're someone that sleeps until 10 a.m., everyone will tell you you're a lazy piece of shit. Remember that good-looking loser, a lot of you are obsessed with him, I am too, and look up to him. He used to get up at like 2 p.m. in the fucking afternoon, and then he would work until like 6 a.m. and then go to sleep. That worked for him. Great, that's what works for him. So don't think that you have to just copy what everyone else is doing or what the successful people are doing. Figure out what works for you. His next question is, what 3 slight edge practices or habits would you recommend to everyone? I'm going to be obtuse here and say nothing, because just like I just said, there's nothing that I can recommend that will work for everyone. It's the same reason I hate healthcare, like the healthcare system. It's the same reason I hate the education system. I hate all these sort of like one size fits all recommendations, because it's just not the way you that's terrible. That's terrible. If I give you 3 slight edge practices and habits, you might try them and be like, this is fucking dog shit. This isn't helping me at all. But if you want, maybe I can give you a more general sort of direction. Maybe I can say, what are 3 things that I think are beneficial to almost every single man? Like, rather than me giving you the actual habit, I'll give you more the philosophy or the principle. Self-improvement. Like some form of self-improvement practice and habit every single day. Some form of fitness or gym or health, like body, something to do with that. And again, if that has to be tailored to you. Like, you might love CrossFit. I might like bodybuilding. Someone else might like weightlifting. I used to love weightlifting. Someone else might just like fucking going for a jog every day, and that's their idea of health. So I'll leave the actual specific practice or habit to you, but something self-improvement, something. And when I say self-improvement, I mean, like, let's just say looks. Maybe I'll say something to do with improving your looks every day, something to do with your health and your body and shit like that, and then something to do with your mental health or your inner peace or stoicism. So again, that specific habit is up to you. That could be you reading Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. It could be you reading other books on stoicism. It could be you reading that Letting Go book by David Hawkins that I just talked about before. It could be you doing yoga. It could be you meditating. It could be you just chilling out and listening to music once a day for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It could be you taking a cold shower and just like doing some fucking deep breathing. It could be you doing Wim Hof deep breathing. One of my mates does Wim Hof. So I'd rather give you the like general scope rather than the specific practice or habit, because it's up to you to figure out those practices and habits. If you guys all copied my life, maybe one day I will specifically tell you everything I do in like an entire week or something, like every little thing. If you guys did it all, you'd fucking hate it. Like, you would fucking hate my life. You would. It's not your life. Just like if I did any of your lives, I would fucking hate it. Like this guy here, his profile picture is him. Like, it's a really cool fucking picture. It looks like it's him at a bar or something. I already hate your life. If that's your life, I already hate it. You're out at night. I want to be asleep. I already hate your fucking life. And that's nothing against your life. I already hate your fucking life. And so do you see how if I just copied your life, I would fucking hate it? Some of my best mates who get laid a ton, they get laid only at night. I would fucking hate that. I want to be in bed by like 8:30. I literally want to be asleep by like 9:30, maybe 10 at the 10 is if I'm crazy. 10 p.m. Oh my God, I lost my fucking mind. I went to sleep at 10 p.m. And so if you just copy pasted my life, you'd fucking hate it. You would hate it. Hate it. You can try my life, and that's why I'm still answering your questions. These are still good questions. I'll make that clear. You can try my life, but don't think you have to do my life. And then the final question, an evil genie casts a spell on you. What a fucking cunt, bro. Why is this genie like fucking with me like that, bro? That is such a fucking violation of the non-aggression principle. For those of you libertarians out there, this is fucked up, bro. This genie's just done evil. Like, this is fucked up, man. I did nothing to this genie. So this piece of shit genie casts a spell on me for literally no reason. Literally no reason. So now I can only do one daily habit. What would I do? Oh man, so I was thinking about this question because I saw it the other day. And maybe I'm autistic, but this is like a really badly thought out question. Or maybe I'm autistic. And because my first thought is like, you said I can only do one daily habit. Well, how deep down this rabbit hole do we go? Eating is a habit. Sleeping is a habit. Taking a piss is a habit. Taking a shit is a habit. You tell me I can only do one of those daily habits, I'm going to die. I'm literally going to die then. If you're saying apart from the essentials, like apart from eating, sleeping, shitting, maybe showering, does showering count as an essential? I know I'm being fucking autistic here, but the point that I'm making is how far down that rabbit hole do we go? Like, what do you call a habit? Is brushing your teeth a habit? So can I brush my teeth, or do I get that one for free? Like, can it be a habit on top of the habit of brushing my teeth? What about going outside? That's a habit for me. So do you see how this is like a hard to answer question? Or I'm autistic, or both. So maybe the habit is I would go outside every day. But if you're saying I'm already allowed to do that, because I think if you stay inside, you'll kill yourself. You will. You're not supposed to stay inside, which was why one of the most fucked up things they ever did was lockdowns and shit like that. So maybe going outside, that's my habit. If you're saying that doesn't count as a habit, like I'm allowed to go outside without that counting as a habit, maybe the habit would be meditating every evening. And by meditating, you don't have to do anything specific. All of you can meditate right now. When I say meditating, I just mean put your phone away. You can have a little bit of soft music or something in the background, like chill beats or study beats or something in the background. Piano music if you want to, just something soft in the background, or you don't have to. And then just let your mind do whatever it wants to do. So whatever you want to think about that. If you want to plan what you're going to do tomorrow, do that. That's what I call meditating, like letting your mind just do whatever it feels like doing for half an hour. Don't look at the time. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Just let your mind do whatever the fuck it wants to do. So I would say that would probably be my habit every day. If that doesn't count as a habit, yeah, no, I'd say that would be the only habit that I'd say, apart from the basics of like brushing my teeth, going outside. So I hope I've answered those in order, like eating, sleeping, shitting, drinking, pissing. Those are the first habits. If those don't count as a habit, then going outside, that's the most important thing. And then if that doesn't count as a habit, then yeah, meditating and just chilling and letting my mind do whatever it wants to do. Because if you had nothing else but your mental health, this is what all the Stoics talk about. Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius and those kind of dudes, they talked about this. If the entire outside world is fucked, but your mind is good, then you're fucking good. This is going to be very fucking impromptu, but I'm going to have to end this. The guy just buzzed my intercom, coming up here to do maintenance. I'm very fucking happy with all of you. Very fucking proud. These were great fucking questions. Keep on crushing it. Here's to 10,000. Go crush your goals. This is very rushed. I love you guys. Bye.